You're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. Today, I'll be sharing with you a collection of fun and effective ways to build and strengthen those intuitive muscles that you have as a highly sensitive soul, as well as how you can incorporate your intuition into your everyday life. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kimberly Morrow, and you're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. The Conscious Her is an accessible online platform and community of conscious women that are empaths, highly sensitive people, and intuitives who are both curious and passionate about spiritual and energetic self-development. As a professional psychic medium, spiritual guide and mentor, intuitive energy healer, and channel for over 5 years now, I dedicate my life to reconnecting energetically sensitive women to the divine within themselves so that they can live the most fulfilling, rewarding, and transformational life possible by remembering who they are and why they're here. If you're looking to learn how to leverage and apply your incredible energetic gifts in your personal and professional life and utilize your intuition and sensitivity as your personal superpowers, this podcast is for you. So let's dive into today's discussion right now. Hey, beautiful light being, and welcome to the Conscious Her podcast. Today, I'm covering some really fun ways that you can build, strengthen, and develop your intuition and your intuitive abilities as a highly sensitive soul, and to even tap into your natural gifts that are just waiting to be utilized. As humans, we are all intuitive beings, and we all have this ability to develop our intuition into attuned psychic senses as well. Developing your intuition skills takes time and practice, though. Much like it takes consistent effort to build and tone your own muscles in your body, it takes the same amount of dedication to exercise the intuitive muscles of your consciousness as well. In a very early episode here on the Conscious Her podcast, I spoke about intuition, but I want to cover it again here in this episode first before we get into the exercises. So what is intuition? Intuition is an inner knowing that we feel as direction or guidance without fully being aware of the underlying reasons for its occurrence. It's illogical and defies analytic reasoning. It gives us the ability to instantly know something directly without thinking it through first. So there's no conscious deliberation involved with intuition. Intuition is also holistic in that it can combine a lot of information and insight from a variety of sources that gives us a leap in our thinking with limited information to actually base it on. I believe that it's the most human way, the most acceptable way of acknowledging how our minds are tapped into source energy and the universe. And when we receive intuitive thoughts and feelings, we are experiencing little nuggets of universal intelligence. The more we welcome this information coming through and flowing through and we act on it, the more it comes to us. The more we disregard it and ignore the information coming through and don't act on it, the less it comes to us. You can be really highly intuitive without being a psychic or a medium as well, and you can use that heightened sense of intuition with whatever your gifts and abilities are and in your divine line of service to others too. Intuition is something that is really strong when we are younger and that really diminishes over time as we grow up and as we get older, because as we get older, we learn to basically rely on our external world for everything that we need. We learn to look outside of ourselves for the answers or the solutions we're looking for, and we forget that we have everything we need within us. And the reason for that is because we are always tapped into this source intelligence, the source energy, and the divine mind. We've just forgotten our power. So when we learn to utilize our intuition and practice our intuition, we get better and better at tapping into that source energy more seamlessly and effortlessly when we need it. And we can have fun doing it too. So today I'm going to walk you through different exercises that you can do for yourself, with your family, with your kids, with your friends, with your community of spiritual friends to build those intuitive muscles. And when we build those intuitive muscles and you start to see the power and accuracy of your intuition by actually observing it and acting on it, you then create more trust within yourself. And when you trust your intuition and surrender to your intuition, you become someone with personal power and energetic sovereignty, something that I talk about all the time, and also something that I believe all highly sensitive souls should have. And before we begin today, I want to give a shout out to my own mediumship mentor, Wilma, who taught me a lot about intuition development and was the person who provided me with several of these exercises that I'm going to share with you today. And these have all helped me immensely on my own spiritual path. And so I'm hoping to pay it forward to you. And I hope you can get a lot of great use out of them too. So without further ado, here are some fun ways to practice the development of your own intuition without the classes, courses, and workshops. So the first recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is simply to work with a deck of playing cards. So you can do this in two different ways. You can self-practice or you can practice with others. So if you're going to practice on your own, the first thing that you would do is find a deck of playing cards somewhere in your house. Usually we have one stored away in a random drawer or closet somewhere. So find yourself a deck of playing cards. And the first thing that you'll do is practice picking cards from the deck. Before you reveal the card that you've picked, use your intuition to sense what color card you picked. So this will be either black or red, okay? And then you can practice doing that a few times, and then the other way of doing it is to take your card deck, practice picking cards from the deck, and again, before you reveal what card you've picked, use your intuition to sense what color and what suit you've picked. So that will be either hearts, diamonds, clubs, or spades. So you're going to pick either red or black and one of the suits. Okay, so very simple, very easy. That's your very basic way of beginning to warm up your intuition through self-practice with a deck of playing cards. The second way of doing this would be to practice with others. And it's really simple. The only difference that would take place here is that someone else would pick a card from the deck for you without showing you, of course. And then you would use your intuition to tune into that card and sense what color and suit they've picked. So really easy and simple and really fun to do with your friends, family, and even your kids. My second recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to again work with cards, but this time it's going to be oracle cards or tarot cards. So this is similar to the first exercise, but we're going to take it up a notch. So there's two different ways that you can do this. You can either practice by yourself or you can practice with others. So if you're going to practice by yourself, all that you would need to do is either purchase or grab your own oracle card deck or tarot card deck that you feel most drawn to. And then once you have that, sit down with the deck of cards, shuffle the cards, and then either pick a card from the deck or let a card fall out of the deck in front of you, but just make sure that you don't see what card you get. And then once you have that card, place the oracle card between your hands and keep it face down so that you don't see what card you picked. And then once you've done that, you're going to use your intuition and all of your intuitive senses to feel into the energy of the card you picked. So this is going to really require you to be still, to be quiet with yourself, a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, and a lot of presence with yourself and with the card to really tune into what the energy of the card is sending to you. So this could be a color, it could be a sign or a symbol, it could be a sensation or a feeling or an idea that this card gives you. So really tune into it and see what you get. And then once you feel like you've gotten everything that you can from the card, reveal the card and look into how your intuition matched up with the card. So if that means that you need to kind of look into the guidebook and see what the card means, or if you just want to study the card and see where your intuition may have matched up with the card, this is a really fun way to work with yourself on really building that sense of intuition and being able to sense into an object or into a card. So if you like to work with cards in particular, this is a really fun one for you to do. Then the second way of doing this is, of course, to practice with others. So if you want to practice with others, grab a few of your spiritual friends or BFFs and get out your favorite oracle card deck again. And then, of course, shuffle the cards and pick a card from the deck. And as you do this, make your intention that you are going to pick a card for another person who is with you, who is practicing with you. And then once you do that, once you've picked out the card, place the oracle card between your hands and keep it face down again so that you don't see what card you picked. And then once you've picked that card and you've placed it in your hands, again, try to sense and feel into who this card is for. Okay, so then once you've done that, use your intuition again to sense and feel into the energy of the card you picked, and then speak to it. So you're going to talk about who the card is for and then what you're getting from that card for that person. So really fun to do, really fun to experiment with. And then once you've done that, reveal the card and see where your intuition matched up with the card and see how it matched up with the person that you intended it to be for. So let your friends take a turn as well too. So everybody goes around and tries it. And of course, you can do this as many times as you want. And it is really fun because it's essentially like giving mini readings to the people that you're practicing with. So enjoy that one. The third recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is called psychometry. So psychometry is actually the ability to make relevant associations from an object of either known or unknown history by making physical contact with that object. So it's about using your intuitive abilities or your extrasensory perception to be able to pick up on information about that object itself. So there's two ways in which you can work with psychometry. The first way is to practice by yourself, and the second way is to practice with others. So if you're going to practice by yourself, the first thing that you would do is that you would find an object that does not belong to you personally. So say it's a family member's object, something of significance, and you're going to hold the object in your hands. Once the object is in your hands, you're going to use your intuition to sense and feel into the energy of the object and see what comes up for you. So what thoughts, feelings, emotions, inspiration, or ideas come up based on the energy of the object that you're holding in your hands. See what you can get from that, and then once you're finished with that, later verify the information that you received with the owner of that object. So run it by them and say, hey, does this represent this object? I'm getting these thoughts, feelings, and emotions or ideas about the history of this object. Does that make sense to you, or is that correct? And see what they say and see how accurate you are. Then the next way of doing this is to practice with others, and there's two different ways that you can practice with others. The first way is to, again, use objects. So get your spiritual friends together, or this could even be your kids or your family members, and place an object of significance to you in an envelope. Okay, and then disperse the envelopes and pick one, making sure that you don't choose your own envelope and object, of course. Then everybody is going to pick an envelope. And when it's your turn, you can either take the object out of the envelope or you can keep the object in the envelope, and you're going to use your intuition to sense and feel into the energy of the object again and see what comes up for you from that object. Once you've done that, you're going to speak to that object. So you're going to talk about what's coming up for you based on that object and see if you can identify whose object it is as well. That's another important factor to remember. Once you've done that, you're going to verify the information that you received from the owner of that object. Okay, so you're going to cross-reference your own intuition with what the owner of that object says about that object. Okay, so really fun to do that. The second way is to use photos. So again, get your spiritual BFFs together or your friends or family and place a photograph in an envelope. So everybody is going to place a photograph in an envelope and make sure that the people that are in your group won't know anything about that photograph, okay? And then again, you're going to disperse the envelopes with the photos in them, and everybody is going to pick one, making sure that they don't choose their own envelope or photo, okay? And then when it's your turn, so everybody's going to take turns, and then when it's your turn, place the photograph between your hands, okay, and then keep it face down so that you don't see what photo you picked. Once you've done that, you're going to, again, use your intuition to sense and feel into the energy of the photo that you picked. So is there anybody in the photo? Is anything significant happening in the photo? Is it of nature? Is it of a scenic photo? What's happening in that photo? What thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, or inspiration come from that photo? Okay, what does that photo give to you without looking at it? And then once you've pulled all the intuitive and information that you can get from your intuition, from that photo, reveal the photo and see where your intuition matched the photo by verifying that information you received with the owner of that photo. Okay, so again, everybody is just going to take turns doing this, and it's something that you can practice as often as you feel like, and there's a lot of really neat information that comes to surface when you work with photos. So have fun using photos. The fourth recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to work with your tech gadgets or to work with technology. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. The first way is that you can work with your phone. So how you do this is the next time your phone is ringing or the next time you hear the chime of a text message or a notification from an app on your phone, before you go to look at your phone, take a moment and use your intuition to determine who you believe is either trying to contact you or what the notification from the app is about. And if you're extra intuitive, you may already be doing this naturally, but just a fun way to integrate your intuition into your everyday life. The second way that you can do this is you can use digital clocks. So the clock on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, your tech gadgets, or just a digital clock in your home. And throughout the day, randomly try to call out what time it is down to the minute. And when you do this exercise, make sure that you're not looking at your phone or your computer all day. So make it maybe on a weekend or when you know you're not as attached to your tech stuff, to your tech gadgets, and see if you can call out the time throughout the day. And it's really interesting to work with time because, of course, some days feel really long and slow and other days feel really fast, like the time goes by really quickly. So it's another fun way to tune into your intuition around time. The final way to work with your tech gadgets is to utilize your intuition with movies or TV shows. So use your intuition to actively sense greater information or traits about the characters of the story that you're watching, as well as the development or outcome of a storyline. It's always really fun when your intuition is correct about a major change in the plot line. So go ahead and use your intuition to kind of feel into and sense into the characters and how they might behave or how the story might change. And I know a lot of people do this already, but it's really fun to kind of take your intuition to the next level and see what happens. The fifth recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to receive messages with books or with music. So if you've got lots of spiritual books sitting around in a pile or on a shelf in your home that you haven't looked at in a while, try taking one out and opening it up to a random page and see what is written on that page. Then use your intuition to connect with the information on the page, seeing where or how the text may be related to you and your life right now. Okay, so if you need to take a minute and set your intention before you open up the book to a specific page, make sure you do that. And then once you've kind of read through what's on that page, journal on what you read and see what parallels you can draw from this exercise. The other way to do this is that you can go to a playlist on your phone or shuffle the songs, and then when you're ready, close your eyes and set the intention that the next song that's going to play is meant for you to hear. Try to use your intuition to tune into the type of song that you'll likely get, or the genre or the artist that you're going to receive, and then seek out the lyrics to that song specifically. Once you've done that, identify how those lyrics may be related to you and your life right now. Super cool exercise, this one. Then once you've done that, journal on the song and what parallels you can draw from this song and with this exercise. The sixth recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to work with traffic lights while you're driving. So this is a pretty classic one, and usually I don't recommend doing anything intuitive while you're driving, but this one is a little bit different. So it's as simple as you're driving up to an intersection and quietly and carefully see if you can use your intuition to sense when the traffic light is going to change as you approach. So depending on your distance and your speed, see if you can anticipate the changes in the traffic lights. And just remember to be, obviously you want to be super aware and attentive of everything that's going on, and allow yourself to kind of tune into that energy of what's going to happen and how it's going to change with the traffic lights. Super easy, super simple. Everybody can do this. The seventh recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to practice automatic writing. So automatic writing is a way of connecting you with the divine through the written word. So this is how you do it. When you have some quiet time or alone time, sit down with a journal or a notepad or even a piece of paper and try to quiet your mind and body. So you may want to let yourself be still by taking 3 to 5 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, sending the breath all the way down to the belly button, and then exhaling through your mouth. Once you've done that, set the intention that you are going to be tapping into source energy and the divine mind for information, insight, and wisdom. Then, with your eyes closed, try to visualize, sense, or feel yourself sitting across the table from you. So you're looking directly at you from outside of yourself. So it's kind of like you're looking at your own reflection. Then think about something you're needing guidance on and visualize, sense, or feel your reflection asking a question. Then when you're ready and when you begin to receive intuitive insights, start to write down what is coming up for you, like you are providing guidance to yourself in third person. And the reason I'm telling you to do this in third person is because it's sometimes easier for us to get outside of ourselves when we are doing this type of reading for someone else. So it helps you get out of your own way when you do this. Then try to tune into the thoughts popping into your mind that are different from your usual mind chatter and take note on them. As this begins to happen, write nonstop for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Don't look at what you're writing, just keep writing and allow yourself to record everything that is coming to you without questioning it or without thinking about it at all. And if you don't like to write, you can use dictation with your phone, or you can even record a voice note. When you feel like you've written down everything you need to, or you've spoken everything you needed to, then go back and read what you wrote or listen to what you said and see what resonates, see what information has come through to you from the divine. And automatic writing is really amazing because when you really get into this, it's almost like you're letting go of control over your physical body, over your physical hand, and you're letting the divine flow through you to move your hand to communicate with you. So some people are really going to resonate with this and they're really going to get it and they're really going to get really good at it. And other people, they just won't resonate with it at all. And my only advice would just be to try it out and see what happens. And remember that this is more of an advanced exercise. So try it a few times before you give up on it. But if you can get it, it's a really amazing tool to have. The 8th recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is called the yes or no meditation. And this is a really interesting one that I'm so thrilled to present to you today. So what you'll need to do with this one is you're going to need to find a comfortable place to sit down, ideally with your feet planted firmly on the floor and with your head elevated to the sky above you, and allow your hands to rest on your lap with the palms of your hands facing upwards. Then let yourself be still by taking 3 to 5 of those beautiful deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, sending the breath down to the belly button, and then exhaling through your mouth. Set the intention then that you are tapping into source energy and the divine mind for information, insight, and wisdom. And you can even ask your spirit guides to assist you with this one. Now think of a decision in your life or a choice in your life that you need to make, and imagine that on one hand you're holding the word yes, and on the other hand you're holding the word no. See the letters in your hand and feel their weight and sense their texture. So what does yes feel like and what does no feel like? So take a few moments to focus on the word yes. How does it feel? How do you feel when you notice it? Are there any images or sounds or sensations that come to mind with it? Then take a few moments and focus on the word no. How does that one feel? How do you feel holding it? So take as long as you would like to explore all of the sensations, feelings, or visions that come with each word, either yes or no, okay? Then once you have a clear sense of both yes and no, this is where you might want to ask questions to your intuition, to source energy, to the divine mind, to your spirit guides. And using that mind and body connection, you're going to feel into the words on each hand to sense a response. So you may want to explore this for a while, and it's really going to take a lot of focus and concentration for you to really tune into your body and really feel into your body and identify what it's saying to you. When you're ready, when you feel like you've obtained all the information that you can from this mind-body connection, you can open your eyes and bring yourself kind of back to the room. So bring your physical presence back to the room. And once you're finished, take a few moments to breathe and think about what your intuition has been communicating with you through your exercise here about your decision. And then once you've done that, write down and take note of all that you have experienced in your meditation here using your yes and your no in your hands. So a really interesting one to try out and to utilize in your everyday life. The 9th recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to do what's called a blind reading for yourself. So all that you're going to do is you're going to grab 3 blank index cards or even 3 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of opaque paper, and think about a decision that you are currently struggling with in your life. Then on each card, write down a different possible solution or a choice that you could make with your decision. Then you're going to shuffle the cards face down, make sure that you can't see what you're looking at, and then place them again face down on a table next to each other. So you could even switch them around there as well. Then once you've done that, you're going to take your hand and run your hand over each card very slowly. So you're going to hover your hand over each card very slowly. And you're going to notice any feelings or sensations or heat or coolness that you get from those cards as you run your hand over them. Okay, so pay attention to the card that you're drawn to the most or that gives you the most sensation in your hand. So for example, if you keep going over one card that really is making your hand warm and prickly, that might be the one that you're going to be drawn to or that you're going to pick. And then once you feel confident about which one you want to pick, flip it over and see what the solution or choice is on that card and see what happens there. And also you can try this several times and see if you continue to pull the same card each time. That will really give you a really confident idea about which route you might want to take with this decision. Once you've done that, journal on what you end up choosing for further insight into the situation at hand here. You can also do this same exact exercise, but instead of creating your own cards, you can use tarot cards or oracle cards to guide you, and it will work similarly. It might not be as direct, but it will work very similarly as well. The 10th and final recommended exercise to strengthen your intuition is to envision a conversation with a mentor. So this is another meditation exercise, and it's a little bit more advanced than some of the earlier exercises. So when you have some quiet time or alone time, sit down with a journal or a notepad or a piece of paper and try to quiet your mind and body. So let yourself be still by taking those 3 to 5 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, sending the breath all the way down to the belly button, and then exhaling through your mouth. Once you've done that, set the intention that you are tapping into source energy and the divine mind for information, insight, and wisdom. You can even ask your spirit guides to join you or assist you in this exercise as well. Once you've done that, then I'd like you to envision a park bench in a really beautiful, peaceful setting, and try and visualize yourself walking over and sitting down on the park bench. Once you've done that, visualize a mentor of yours or even an idol of yours come by and sit down with you on that park bench. Okay, so if you don't have a mentor or an idol that you can think of, you can even envision a spirit guide that's coming there to join you today. Then you're going to talk to your mentor or your idol or your spirit guide about something going on in your life right now that you need guidance or help or assistance with. You can even ask them questions. Then you're going to visualize them responding to you and what they would say to you, and take note of, first of all, who this person is, what they say to you with regards to your question, and how they say it to you, and what thoughts and feelings and emotions come up based on this conversation that you have. So listen carefully and think about what this person and conversation means for your life and what it means to you. And then once you've finished with the visualization, make sure that you write down your experiences and what you've learned from your mentor, your idol, or your spirit guide. This is a really amazing way to have your own quiet meditation to really tap into that divine mind and that divine intelligence. And it's a lot of beautiful experiences that usually come in when you attempt this. So try it out. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 recommended exercises to help you strengthen your intuition as well as your own intuitive gifts and abilities, and to also practice tapping into that source energy into your everyday life. Remember that you can practice these exercises by yourself easily as you go about your day, and you can even create really fun activities and games with them too, especially if you want to include your kids or friends or family in them as well. All of these exercises are, of course, meant to be practiced and become increasingly effective when you opt to work with them every day or as often as you can. And when you allow yourself the time and presence to be able to practice these exercises, you'll begin to trust your intuition even more, and you'll get more comfortable with the idea of applying or acting on your intuition when you experience it in the future. So when you trust your intuition, you'll feel even more safe and secure with the idea of tapping into your natural gifts and abilities as they unfold, and you'll naturally nurture the unfolding of their development. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed learning something new and fun about how you can actively engage your intuition. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode and for listening to the Conscious Her podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here and a part of our community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe and share it on your social media channels with your spiritual soul sisters, friends, family, and network. Chances are, if this resonated with you, it will for them too. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm here to help. You can email me at hello@theconsciousher.com, and I may even use your question or topic of discussion for a future podcast episode. If you want daily support for your highly sensitive soul, please visit me over on Instagram at @theconsciousher. If you're interested in working with me, visit www.theconsciousher.com and be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. Finally, I do have a personal request. I believe that our purpose here is to heal ourselves and to serve others, and together you and I can help more people. If you would please leave a positive review for this podcast on iTunes, I'd be so eternally grateful for your support. Thank you and have a great day.